For the Portland Trail Blazers and the Los Angeles Lakers, this NBA season has been one filled with ironies. After 3 nearly injury-free years, the Blazers have fallen upon some bad luck, losing key players to knee problems. In Los Angeles, rookie head coach Randy Fund has ridden the emotional roller coaster as his team has overachieved in 2 stunning victories against the world champion Bulls, and also worn the loser's crown against teams headed in the wrong direction. Earlier this year, Logic said that Portland figured to present a stiff challenge in both meetings against the Lakers. Instead, the Blazers countered with 2 of their poorer performances and went down to defeat. Tonight, which personality will emerge for both teams? Live from the Forum, the Blazers meet the Lakers.
The Oregon Trail and the Trailblazers, a name carved from its history. Many Native Americans were encountered on the Oregon Trail: Pawnee, Sioux, Nez Perce, Umatilla, Cayuse, and Walla Walla. Those Trailblazers soon found that the Indians were very helpful, if not necessary, to their survival, and trade soon developed. When they reached the Blue Mountains, members of the Cayuse tribe showed them the way over those mountains to the Whitman Mission. And those pioneers were forever grateful for the help the Indians gave them along the Oregon Trail.
Wagons out!
Walking 2,000 miles of unforgiving terrain alongside an ox-drawn wagon is almost beyond our imagination. Yet those Trailblazers of 150 years ago did so with a grit and determination to reach their goal. The land of promise, a land of plenty, Oregon. Trailblazers basketball is brought to you by your area BP station. BP, on the move throughout Oregon. By Cellular One, the nation's largest cellular company. Imagine no limits. By the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. By Coca-Cola Classic, you can't beat the real thing. By Payless Drugstore, the drugstore worth talking about. And by GTE. GTE, proud sponsors of the Trailblazers. George Wash is the executive producer and director of Trailblazer basketball, and J.R. Hellman is the coordinating producer.
And Steve, already the Lakers up 2-0.
And they've been able to get those 2 victories by making a weakness a strength. Sedell Street has been really the spark plug in those 2 ball games. He has dominated the backcourt matchup between himself and Terry Porter, and for Portland to get the job done, Terry Porter has to arrive tonight.
We're going to watch those 2 little guys very carefully. What about the keys to tonight's ball game?
It's a contrast in style, and you look at the Trailblazers, if they're going to be the team that gets it done, they have to be active. They have to move themselves. They have to move the ball. They have to attack. When they do that, they're tough to handle. The Lakers, they want to force Portland to become a perimeter team, shoot the ball over the top. That's when rebounding is so critical for them, and the team that gets the boards is the team that wins the game.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, stay right where you are. It's the Lakers and Portland NBA basketball. Don't go away. We're going to be right back. We're here at the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California. A terrific second period by the Blazers. They were down by 11 going into the second. They lead 56-52, and they shoot in the 50-51% range in that second quarter, led by Rod Strickland, and the Blazers have that lead right now. Well, what about Mr. Rice? Mike, my boy, you only have a minute or so. Take it away.
Drazen Petrovic was taken to dinner last week by the New Jersey Nets executives, including Willis Reed, the general manager. Why? Well, at the end of the year, he's a restricted free agent, open for anybody to grab, and the Nets would love to sign him right now. They've offered him $3.5 million for 4 years. That's $1 million more than Clyde Drexler is making right now, even with his $8 million balloon payment. For those of you think that Drazen made a mistake going to New Jersey, think again. By the way, Drazen turned it down. How about Sam Perkins? He missed 2 practices last week. The official word, a virus. But the Orange County Register newspaper said Sam was seeking professional help to cure depression. When they asked Sam about that, he said, I can't talk about it. When the Lakers front office asked Sam about it, he said, I'm cured of what I had in the 2 days I've missed at practice. Now you know why the Lakers can beat the Bulls and Blazers 1 week and lose to Dallas and Miami the next. How about Alaa Abdul's contract with the Portland Trail Blazers 2 years ago? The contract said if Alaa averages 16 minutes a game this year, he gets paid guaranteed next year $800,000. Well, so far for the Celtics, Alaa has started the last 10 games and averaged 24 minutes a game. That puts him up for the season to 15 minutes, 30 seconds. He needs 30 seconds more a game the rest of the year. So if you see Alaa on the bench nervously looking up at the clock, you'll know why. Coming up, a short historical vignette on women moving west on the Oregon Trail.
In celebration of the
Lucky enough to win a free vacation to Orlando, Florida, seeing Disney World and Epcot Center may be the highlight for your kids, but you might get an even bigger kick out of seeing Shaquille O'Neal go to town on his own home turf. The only way you can see it all is to enter the Blazers' Choice Sweepstakes. Grand prize includes free air travel and accommodations from Ozamano Travel Service, passes to Disney World and Epcot Center, and Orlando Magic game tickets. For details, look for entries on the Blazer page in This Week magazine or the Oregonian Food Day section, or call the Blazers office. Blazers' Choice is presented by Alpenrose Dairy, Colgate Palmolive, Flavor Pack, Boyd's Coffee, Gatorade, Mother's Cookies, and Steinfeld's. Speaking of vacations, if relaxing in Mexico is more your speed, maybe you should take more of an interest in the Blazers' three-point field goal scoring. It's all part of the GTE three-point play contest. To qualify, it's simply a matter of guessing how many three-point field goals the Blazers will make this month. One winner from each phone mart wins Blazers tickets and a $100 GTE gift certificate. Grand prize is a free round trip for 2 to one of 4 Mexican resort spots, courtesy of Alaska Airlines, featuring Mexico vacations to Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Guadalajara, and Los Cabos. For details, stop by your GTE phone mart. The call for entries for the state's largest adult basketball tournament is winding down, so if you're planning on participating, start getting in shape and get that entry form in right away. The Standard Insurance Trailblazers 3-on-3 Corporate Classic is set for February 27th and 28th. The tournament's regional playoffs will be held in Portland, Vancouver, Salem, Eugene, Springfield, and Medford. There are 3 age brackets for men and an open division for women, and state championships are held in the Coliseum before a Blazers game. For details, call your Standard Insurance representative or the Blazers office. Entries must be postmarked by Friday, January 29th. And a final reminder tonight, next time you're at the store, don't forget to look for the latest issue of Rip City Magazine. It includes a special feature on Buck Williams and a Q&A session with Kevin Duckworth. That wraps up this part of Halftime. We'll be back with more after this.
Portland outscoring the Lakers 33-18 in that second quarter, led by Rod Strickland and the rest of his teammates, and they lead 56-52. Some of the highlights, Steve.
Well, we'll go back and look at some of the key plays as the Trailblazers begin to surge themselves. The ball movement, which broke down the defense, and you can see how easily Cliff Robinson was able to get inside. That happened early in the ball game, but Rod Strickland continued that surging effort in the second quarter, and Buck Williams right at the basket for an easy 2. The Los Angeles Lakers are a team that like to use their big people, and when you allow James Edwards a chance to back you down, break you down, get a rhythm, get a good look, that's what happened. Edwards was part of that big first quarter scoring. the Trailblazers' leading scorer, Rod Strickland, all of those in the second quarter, along with Kersey's big second quarter as well. Sedell, 3, a smart start, 12 in the first, leads all scorers in the first half. James Edwards, big contribution off the bench. All the Trailblazers chipping in, with Porter the leading rebounder. AC Green leads the Los Angeles Lakers. So what you look for is shooting percentage. The Trailblazers down at the end of one, beginning to come up. The Lakers red hot, cooling down. Portland shooting the ball well at the line, rebounding better. The bench has now begun to come into effect for Portland. They dominated the second quarter of play, and we'll see if they can continue that at the top of the third quarter.
Blazers prevail here at the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California. Blazers had a great shot at it. They were down by 11 after 1. They led by 4 at the break. They had a precarious 1-point lead going into the fourth and final period, but the Lakers got it done, and they win it by 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miller Brewing Company wants you to think when you drink.
Trailblazers basketball has been brought to you by Fred Meyer. Values for your time and money. You'll find it at Fred Meyer. By Alaska Airlines, rated best in the U.S. by frequent travelers. By ODS Health Plan, partners in sickness and in health. By Bank of America, proud sponsors of the Trailblazers. Banking on America, Bank of America. By Miller Genuine Draft, it's cold filter. Get out of the old, get into the cold. And by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Information on how you can join in the celebration of the Oregon Trail's 150th anniversary. Call this number.
Now the Trailblazer postgame show. Tonight's postgame show is brought to you by your local Chevy Geo dealer, the Portland Trailblazers, and the Chevy S10 Blazer, 2 proven winners. And by True Value Hardware. You can do it with True Value Hardware Store.
Momentum can be a heartbreaker, and that was the story for the Trailblazers tonight. After a slow start, they rebounded in the second quarter, played even in the third, and then were outscored at the top of the fourth quarter to give the Los Angeles Lakers an edge. Let's take a look at some of the highlights in that second half of play. The Trailblazers became the aggressors, and when they played that way, beautiful things happened for them, and a return of what the league fears. Drexler playing over the top of the basket. Sedell, 3. Off to a real quick start earlier in the ball game. Had trouble coming back and scoring, but the Lakers and the Trailblazers volleyball the ball around in that third quarter of play, and out of it, a hustling effort and a score for Terry Porter. Ultimately, the game was decided by 2 guys that had set out the third quarter of play, and most of the game for Eldon Campbell and Vlade Divac. 2 quick spinning plays inside to get them started at the top of the period, and the Trailblazers had to go about 4 minutes before Jerome Kersey came back in as a catalyst to get them started on an upward surge against the Los Angeles Lakers. The game and the shot decided by Byron Scott against the shot clock. Portland continued to try to come back, but they didn't have quite enough to get the job done. Every time Portland got within 5, Scott made it 7 to keep the game in the Lakers' favor. They win by 3. We'll be back with a guest, John Wetzel, right after this.
In the beginning, there was only one vehicle of its kind. Today, it's the only one to combine a lease this powerful with one this comfortable and this affordable. The extraordinary Chevy S-Blazer lease plan from the extraordinary vehicle that originated the species.
See your local Chevy Geo dealer today.
Hey, Pat! Willard, what are you doing here?
Shopping.
Yeah, me too. Can't resist True Value's great prices, huh?
Well, you know, it's a personal service I like. You just can't get that at those big chain stores.
Yeah, and with 7,000 stores buying together, they sure have some great prices.
You already said that.
Yeah, but it's true, Pat. These are great prices.
With great service.
And great people.
Like a family.
Does this mean we're brothers?
Well, let's say cousins.
Cousins.
Twice removed.
Some losses are tougher than others, and this one, John, you seem to be taking pretty hard. It looked like the team had a good chance to win this game. At the top of the 4th period, things broke down, and was it because the team forgot how they wanted to attack Campbell and Divac down on the block?
Well, I don't think it was so much that we forgot, Steve. I think we just came out a little bit soft. We allowed them to back us down, and we didn't make a stand and push those people off the low post. They scored, I think, outscored us 10-2 or something, and we just didn't stop them. They got the ball at the basket, and if you allow them to do that, they're going to score because they're big and they're strong. And at the other end, to compound it, we couldn't get any shots down. We rushed some shots. We took some quick shots. We didn't show any patience there in that 2 or 3 minute period, and then at the end of that period, we just couldn't catch up.
It was about a 4-minute drought on the scoreboard for the Trailblazers before they finally got a hoop, and at about that time, you decided to come back with the small lineup. As you look back, do you think maybe you should have started the period that way?
Well, not really. We had some people that had played the whole quarter, Jerome and Buck, and we needed to give those people a blow. You know, we're limiting Clyde's minutes right now, so we didn't want to bring him right back, and Rick was trying to save him to about the 7-minute mark. As it turned out, he brought him back early because of the way we were playing, and but we were in a position we wanted to give some of those people a little bit of a blow, and we needed to stem the tide there, and we just weren't able to do it.
Well, also in a comeback, you got to have a little luck, and Scott took care of yours.
Yeah, they did. And, you know, they made a lot of shots. Scott made shots, and AC Green made shots. People that don't make shots against other people for the Lakers, every time we come in here, you know, the AC makes shots, and Divac makes shots, and, of course, James Edwards was on fire the first half. So they really shot the ball extremely well. All
right, you got a tough game coming up in Seattle. Get ready. Best of luck. We'll be back with a look at stats right after this.
Hey, Willard Scott here, talking with the good folks who shop.
First choice. Well, the Blazers had a shot at it tonight. They had a terrific second period, for the most part in the third, but they just could not get it done, Steve.
Well, they didn't. The game was up and down, and the numbers will tell us just how so. As we take a look at the leading scorer, Strickland with 2 tremendous periods turns out to be Portland's leading scorer, along with Jerome Kersey. Both of those guys did a tremendous job in bringing Portland back when they were down. Sedell Threet with a terrific start. Divac and Edwards big in the middle. Byron Scott huge off the bench, particularly late in the ball game. Buck Williams, the leading rebounder for Portland, as Portland had a community contribution. They all did a good job on the boards. AC Green led the Lakers. Again, circle the field goal percentage. Portland under 40. The Lakers, who were hovering above 50, finished at 49. And you look at the bench scoring, the Trailblazers had an advantage. They forced the turnovers. But again, it was that quick separation at the top that really made the difference in the fourth quarter of play.
Well, our next cable game is coming up in a couple of days. The dreaded Seattle Supersonics come into town. It's going to be live this coming Sunday. It's a 5 o'clock game. To order pay-per-view, call your local cable company. That's on Sunday, the Sonics and the Portland Trailblazers. Byron Scott, AC Green, what more can you say? say?
Well, you took this one as hard as John Wetzel. They got to get ready for another ball game against the Sonics. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and guess who's coming to town, folks? It's Seattle. Be with us on Sunday. Thank you for being with us. And from the Forum in Inglewood, California, wherever you may be, Bill Shanley, good night, everybody. Tonight's postgame show has been brought to you by your local Chevy Geo dealer, the Portland Trailblazers and the Chevy S10 Blazer, two proven winners, and by True Value Hardware. You can do it with True Value Hardware Store.
Sooner or later, it's going to come back and haunt you. Blazers continue to have trouble putting the ball in the basket. Now, they got lucky the previous two games because they played lousy teams. No such luck tonight. They shoot only 39% from the field. Not good enough. They lose to the Lakers 99-96. You know it's a Laker game when Magic and Arsenio are hanging out in the stands. Sid Alfreet, the guy who took over from Magic Johnson, sticks the jumper. He had 22 to lead L.A., playing well. James Edwards, this guy's been around forever, but still getting it done. Hits the turnaround. Lakers up 34-23 after one. Blazers come back in the second period, start playing better. Buck Williams with a slam dunk right there. And it's Cliff Robinson after the miss, slamming it home. 12 for him. Bad shooting night for Cliff. Blazers grab the lead right here late in the second period. Bounce it around. Clyde fights for it and fights for it and fights for it and throws it in. 48-46 Blazers. They led by 4 at halftime. Second half now, Clyde starting to show flashes of the old Clyde. Takes the feed from Terry Porter and jams it in there. But Clyde held to 12 tonight. Late in the third period, tempers flare a little bit. Buck Williams, James Edwards exchanged pleasantries, and Edwards got his second tee of the night and got the boot. Say goodnight. But maybe that inspired the Lakers a little bit. A.C. Green takes the feed, pumps, gets the foul, and hits. That hurts. Lakers by 10. This is pretty much how it went for the Lakers all night long, getting a lousy shot and making it count. Byron Scott hits the three. That really took the steam out of the Blazers. They lose the game 99-96. Get out of here. Wow. Shaquille had all kinds of dunks. He finished with 22 points and 12 boards. Orlando Cruz's 113-94. Shaquille showed us how to dunk, and this is how not to dunk. The Pacers' Kenny Williams tries to get cute and blows it. Got to be one of the worst